So apparently now these have replaced these for plot lines. Alright, not that I'm knocking video games, because actually sometimes they do have a really good, interesting story. And I think this one was the case. Silent Hill, and I remember this one from, well, when I was much younger, when Dak was still old. And it was a creepy video game for back in the time. So, obviously, it should make a really creepy and interesting movie. Now here's where I'm going to start telling you about the story, but I don't think I can actually tell you about the story, because, well, not that I'm going to be giving anything away, more or less, I don't really know how to start. So apparently this child is lost in a creepy hamlet of Silent Hill, and or in this town there's some creepy cult-like thing going on, and we don't really understand. Demons and stuff are involved, and weird creatures, kind of zombie-like, and everything kind of come loose. And if you've played the video game, you know what to kind of expect, but if you haven't, for those of you who haven't, it's just really creepy. And what's going on is the mother is in Silent Hill trying to find the child, and hopefully to rescue the child, bring her back to reality, and leave the town. I like to say the Stephen King factor takes over here, where nothing starts to make sense, but the movie still has a plot line and you still follow it. So that said, that's the best I can make sense of the story for you, and when you're watching it, you would understand where I'm going with this. I don't want to give anything else away, so I'm not going to go into details on it. They do, in my opinion, give a really interesting story and a really interesting backdrop to what's going on around the town, and the characters that we have displayed, our main characters. So in this movie, as far as actresses go, I don't recognize any of the actresses, I'll be honest. The actor, which is the father in this movie, I do recognize, but he has a kind of a minor role for the most part of the movie, and he doesn't really come into much effect of the major storyline in this movie, so I'm going to have to ignore that. So for the most part, we're dealing with the mother and the child. This is based off the video game. I'm not going to go into details on how that connects, because in reality I never did finish the video game. This is where you guys can come in. You can tell me, comment below, let me know if you've played the video game and you've watched the movie. Tell me, did it actually fit together? Does it make sense? What's going on? So from as far as I can recollect, I don't think they actually match together perfectly, but the idea and the premise and the whole story behind Silent Hill does make sense, and it does come to truth with the movie and what the video game was trying to do. Ultimately, though, it's just extremely creepy. In the entire movie, you're trying to figure out what's going on and who's real, what's not real. Is this kind of like a dream? Sometimes you're thinking, are these monsters really people? And all this stuff's playing, well, at least in my mind, of what's going on in this movie, though the movie does explain itself. For those of you who want an end, want something out of this, finish the movie for me, it does do that. It wraps itself up really nicely in the end. So I don't think it's needed for me to say, but this is one of the horror classics for most people out there who are horror lovers, love the genre. This is one of them. And I think, I have to say, on their behalf, I can see why. Because this is a movie that's different than usual, it's unconventional, but it does have that taste, that feel of like a Stephen King kind of idea put together, where things are kind of making sense, but at points in times it just gets really crazy and weird, and the line between what makes sense and what doesn't kind of gets blurred. On to rating, and yes, because this movie ended really nicely for me, I liked it. The entire plot line and everything kind of comes to a peak at the very end, and I was really excited to see that. This one's going to get a 3 out of 5 ash flakes. On to the next review.